you can buy a ticket, you can go in the stands, you can watch the races, but you can't do videos, you can't do pictures, you can't do your podcast, you
and
can't
unlike
do your
the regular
interviews.
person, and unlike the regular person, they're probably paying attention to my accounts if I was to do anything. Unlike a regular person can get away with the Facebook Live or this or that, or Beer Hill TV can. I mean, they really could actually get me for my Logan Schuchart interview if they wanted to, but.
I got you. So my question for you is this, my friend Chaz. What if you change your approach differently? What if you contact World of Outlaws? What if you contact that guy that you kind of made upset or you had words with at World of Outlaws, or any of these people, and or any of these sanctioned bodies, and just say, hey, look, maybe my approach was wrong. Maybe I said something that I shouldn't have. If you could understand where I'm coming from, if you could understand my approach on things, maybe you could see things differently, because maybe you might not realize this, but the approach and the way that you do it can be offensive. And that's what I think is turned off by a lot of people. And that's why a lot of people degrade you and talk down about you, because of the way that you the way you present your demeanor. Would you say that that's something that you think you should work on? Because let me say you something. There's been some things that I've watched and I'm like, man, this guy's bogus. But then there's other ones, like when you spoke heart to heart a couple of weeks ago, I think you were in California, and you said, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I created Dirt Track State of Mind and Inslide the Dirt. Man, that was friggin' awesome. That was damn great. That was great, because you were speaking from the heart. And I think you speak from the heart on the topics that you talk about, but I think the way that you do it offends people or makes people angry, even sanctioned bodies, and then they punish you from it. Go ahead.
Well, me and Anthony's the guy you're talking about. Actually, I have talked to him. I wanted to get him on the talk show even after they banned me. I thought that would be really good for some attention there for the sport, and it would have been really good to just be talking about this stuff. Is really the first step. The verbal impact that just talking about things that are some of the big things that make a difference. When you're trying to make differences, you got to talk about stuff or in multiple ways to get it to happen. But I think at the end of the day, there's certain people. I realize that there's certain people that will like you, and there's certain people that will respect you. And if you're rolling around this world worried about being liked, you got a hell of a battle to face.
Right. That's right.
Because not a lot of people are going to like you.
That's exactly right.
And there's only a few certain ways to get people to like you, and that's pretty much most of it. I mean, there's several ways, but most of the time it's being fake, in my opinion.
Right.
And then there's a lot of people who are going to respect you, and if you're looking to get respected in the world, I think how I'm going to do it is I'm going to say what I want to say and how I'm going to say it, and if my truth, then it's my truth, and at least it's authentic. Because I think we have a lot of race car drivers. I think we have a lot of team owners. I think we got a lot of public representation that is fake as, that I can't say you asked me not to say. There's a lot of fakeness going on out there right now. And I don't care if my stuff comes across as raw or real or mean or cruel. At least it's real. And it'll at least and the only way you're going to get real, true respect is being that way.
I got you.
If you try to just bend your back or back off or say or hold back, re-record people. We'll just re-record what you said and don't use this. I mean, I'm sorry if an MF word or something like I don't say GD, but if an MF word or an F word makes people tune away from me, and that's just what I said in the moment, well then, oh well. I'd rather it be authentic and me lose 10,000 views than be fake and have a couple million.
So, okay. So you don't think there's any way possible in time you can contact that guy, Anthony, or World Outlaws, or any of the people that
I contacted him. I contacted him on his ad that they got right now for the Devil's Bowl Speedway. It says Kilgore, Texas. It's incorrect. I took a screenshot and sent it to him, and I was like, hey, your Facebook people need to, I did this private messagely, I didn't make some big post. Oh, they can't even get their Facebook right. I didn't want to do that.
Right.
I did it on the low. I said, here you go. Here's y'all messed up on your Facebook side of things. Your ad right here that shows the Devil's Bowl Speedway is titled with come see the World Outlaws at the Lone Star Speedway in Kilgore, Texas. So, I mean, I don't necessarily hate these people, and I don't think they really hate me. I mean, honestly, even like a person like Carson Elledge on the low, I kind of think she might actually like somebody who didn't finally kiss her ass, because that's all she gets is people that kiss her ass. There's not a lot of people that go out there and say what they think about her. There's a lot of people that hide in their back trailers and talk shit. There's a lot of people that go and say hi and act nice to one another, and they go back to their trailer and talk all this crap on this guy or that guy or the guy they just talked to and act all nice to.
Yeah.
That needs to change. And if I got to be the one guy to start that kind of change to work to we can get some more people out here and being open with how they feel, then maybe we can go somewhere. I think that we need to get our drivers away from the politically correct NASCAR spectrum, and which is mainly dictated by corporations. We need more people to come out here and tell us how they feel and what they think, and if I got to be the one to do it and take all the heat and show people how to take heat, that's the video I made too. This is how you take Facebook criticism: is you say what you feel and you don't worry about what people say about it.
I understand that, Chaz. I understand that. But what I'm trying to say, buddy, is you can get the word across, but maybe doing it in a different approach.
Well, and that's why I went face-to-face. That's one of the reasons I went face-to-face, because not only that, but I think a lot of people thought I was just some guy on the internet not really caring, just talking a bunch of crap. So I think, initially when I drove to California, there was an issue earlier in the day that kind of got me upset. That was old Amber Bulkin's little 6'5" football player boyfriend saying he's going to find me, and I said, "Where are you?" Pretty much, you can do what you want to me. And then I said, "You ain't going to scare me."
You're talking about Jason McDougal.
No. Balkin's boyfriend, the tall black dude who plays for semi-professional football. He's the intimidating guy, but I'm not scared to get my ass whooped. I knew I was driving into the
we all
the
take an ass
main
whipping a time or
area.
two. We have all taken an ass whipping a time or two in our life. There's nothing wrong with taking an ass whipping. Being a man is backing up what you're doing, and I cannot fault you for that.
Well, and I think that's a message that needed to be sent there. And then with the Outlaws banning me there on the West Coast, and that Jim Chionius running his mouth in PA, I couldn't really do anything over there because the Outlaws were dominating the state that month or that period of time I was over there.
Right.
So I went ahead and went to PA because over here I could do some stuff, and there was a lot of fans want me to come.
I was going to ask you that. How were you perceived when you made the trip to Port Royal and to Lincoln Speedway? By the way, I've been there before in Abbottstown, Pennsylvania. Beautiful, beautiful facility just outside of out of Gettysburg. Of course, if you ever get a chance, go check out the history of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. If you're in the history of the war and this, all of that stuff, it's really cool information there in business buildings and historic landmarks there. If you get a chance, if you're still in that area. And of course, you went to the Speed Palace, Port Royal, another awesome facility. How were you perceived when you went there to the Keystone State, Pennsylvania, for those races this past weekend?
Well, how I was perceived in California was really nice. I thought somebody whooped my ass, but I just had a bunch of fans who wanted to take pictures, and kind of had a little bit more than that at Lincoln. A lot of, like I said, a lot of pictures, people in media, race car drivers, really hearing about me coming in. And it was really interesting, too, yesterday when that Gear Tube TV kind of mentioned Chaz going, and it was in the same sentences as NASCAR and Brad Keselowski and Supercross and Marvin Marskin and all that stuff and World Outlaw. So I don't know. It seemed like a lot of people were tuned into me showing up. And Lincoln Speedway was great, but I'll tell you what, Port Royal Speedway in Port Royal, Pennsylvania. I guess it's a county-owned facility. It's hard to say the name, but it's top of the line. I mean, that's probably one of the best racetracks out there. I think a lot of tracks around here kind of live in Williams Grove's shadow in a way, just because that's the one name you hear about all the time. So, but as far as interaction with people and fans and stuff like that, it was great. Mandy Pouts was at the Port Royal Speedway, waved her hand high. So, I mean, acknowledged by a few racers too. And the fans were there. So I think going from Daytona to California to PA was a symbolistic showing that, I'm not just messing around. This ain't no joke to me. I'm not just sitting here talking crap.
I got you. Definitely. What do you want? What do you want the industry, the fans, the people, the haters, the promoters, the track owners, what do you want them to take out of what Chaz Thompson and what Dirt Track State of Mind is, or what you're trying to become, or What do you want people to see you as? At the end of the day, when this day is done, when your life is done and you're in the coffin, what do you want people to remember what Chaz Thompson and Dirt Track State of Mind done for the sport?
For the sport or for the world? Because I got bigger goals than just – no, I'm just playing. No, but with racing, I would hope that by that time we've got the sport a little bit more relevant. It's got some mainstream attention. Local racing drivers start mattering more than on TV celebrities. One of the most disgusting stories I heard of was a local track champion. I was over at his house, and his son wasn't a fan of his. He was a fan of Joey Logano more than his dad. I think pop culture's done a real big number on not only the world, but the racing world, too. That's what created this celebrity-istic attention to the series. So I think we have a lot of situations where I think the regular guy needs to get more attention and more respect. I think these sprint cars need to as well, and late models. I just think hopefully by the end of it all, things have changed. I think we can get it done quicker than by the end of my life, and we can do a lot more things with that. I think dirt track racing would be a great example to the world on how to get better as well, because the economic situation of the racing world is very similar to the situations we face in the real world, where a lot of things and how you're treated and things that go along in your life are based on how much money you have and who you know. So I think if we can just get some respect back for the common man and the common racer, use a little bit more common sense on how we treat people and stop falling into the same old marketing ploys that I think certain industries do, that I think things will overall get better. Regular people start paying attention to the tracks. Tracks can start making money so they can upgrade their facilities, improve their facilities. Drivers can start making money again when winning races, and we're not the sport isn't solely dependent on corporate sponsors and rent-a-rides to stay alive.
Hey, Chaz, I need to bring something up here, buddy. Bob Dillner is actually listening to the podcast, and he just texted me. He says he just tried to call in repeatedly, but he couldn't get through because obviously we shut down the lines because of obviously your audio faded in and out. But he says, Wesley, please ask Chaz this following questions. Who the hell is this guy? How did I kill short track racing in the Northeast? And legally, you can't talk. What the hell? Please explain yourself.
I don't know enough to talk about it.
Okay, so
it was just hearsay. It was just some hearsay that I had heard, but I would have to look into it, and I may come out with a video about it here in a month or so. So stay tuned.
Okay, so you're saying that you're going to come out with a video possibly about it.
I got to research. It was something that I heard very recently, so I need to do a little bit more research and get the facts in a row and lay it all out, maybe in a video here in the next month or so. We'll see.
Yeah, because, I mean, Bob Dillner, he's listening, and again, he just wants to know, how. Okay, so if you can't go into full details.
Maybe I should publicly apologize and backtrack, because once again, like I'm talking about the racing industry, it's not all one person's fault. So maybe I should publicly apologize and backtrack, and not one person can control the destruction of any motorsports industry. So I'm sorry about that, but I will look into it a little bit more on some of the things that was brought into my attention. Maybe it was just a bitter fan against yours, and just like I have mine.
Absolutely, so. And I will say in defense of my colleague and friend Bob Dillner, I mean, him had differences before as well, but we're good friends now. As far as what I've seen Bob Dillner do in this industry has been phenomenal. He does many great things. He still covers things in the Northeast. I mean, the only complaint
I've heard about the Speed 51 thing is that it was originally started up to give the local racers some attention, and then it pretty much spun into catering to the younger kids with the money backing to try to get them to next levels of racing.
That's the only negative thing. That is not true. Let me tell you something. As somebody that is recently...
That's how it was explained to me by Dylan Oliver. I don't know if you remember Dylan Oliver, but it's on Dirt Track State of Mind. It's in the videos, one of our podcasts we did with him, and that's how it was kind of explained to me, how that all went.
Okay. Well, again, he is listening. He is listening. So, and again, I just have to say, not on speaking on behalf of Bob Dillner, but on behalf of being somebody that works with Speed 51 Network and with MAV TV, doing events with them, I have seen so much work that Bob Dillner and all of the crew at Speed 51 do, and I don't see how they just cater to big events or just cater to, you know, the guys with daddy's money or mama's money or sponsors' money. You know, I've literally, I can't go into full details, but I can tell you that there's things that they've done pro bono to promote the sport, to do things to try to put